I'm a little late today, and I do apologize for that, everybody. I went gun shopping. I was in the market to go buy some firearms there. So I was in town playing at the gun store. But we are back. Purchases have been made. And we are, better late than never, bringing you the live stream here today. I hope everyone's doing well so far. I didn't really put an announcement to the show out there. So we'll see if and when anybody shows up. But long story short, the babies are going well. We've got the little babies there. We're going to get to them. I'm going to do a little watering, actually. Probably while we're in the live stream show, you know what I'm saying? What's up, BMK? Sorry for being late today, my friend. I was out doing a little gun shopping there. So better late than never, though. So here we are, still on a Sunday, having fun. New plants are going really, really well. We are approaching roughly 1 week since we planted the sprouts. So we'll get in there and show you those in a moment. I'm doing well, Blasted Puffin. Good evening to you. What's up, Red Claws? I'm doing well. How are you doing, my friend? I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening so far. What's happening, guys? Down to your mama. Sorry about the wait there. We got home and then had to take care of a few things before I could go live there. But we live now. I apologize, too, for not using the studio setup and just using the normal cell phone there. It is what it is. But hey, here we is. What's happening, Van Island Beauty? Good to see you, my friend. You're wrapping presents. Nice. I've got to do that eventually. But, today I was more so worried we were buying some presents for ourselves. So we went and bought some guns. Managed to find an all-original 1952 Soviet SKS, which was a nice find. Picked that up. And a Canuck 12-gauge shotgun as well. What's happening, MCR 420 MCR? Good to see you, my friend. Oh, well, that's good. I mean, we're a little late today because I was shopping, but we're here now. What's happening, Wally Fish? Good to see you, my friend. What's happening? Yeah, so anyway, long story short, it's been a good day. Good day. Busy all over the place. But, we're gearing up. The babies are raring to go. We'll hop in there, actually, so I got to give them a little bit of water, too. I'm not running the ACs right now because it just feels a little silly. So we'll probably have to run the ACs, obviously, during the winter, given that it just gets so bloody hot down here. It gets so bloody hot down in this laboratory. So we're probably going to have to run AC over the winter, but that's okay. It is what it is. It costs money and power to do that. Fan Island Beauty, does the 12 gauge have Canuck logos and colors? No. It is black and I guess brown, but it is a Canuck though. It is a Canuck shotgun. Got a decent enough deal on that. The reason why we like that one is it's got the adjustable stock there in the back, so then the missus can use it as well. Good to see you, Miss Case Garden. How you doing, my friend? Oh, right. Right now, in terms of the plants, I think they're roughly 5 days old from planting the germinated sprouts. I think they're roughly 5 days, give or take or so. What's happening, Chris Barton? Good to see you, my friend. What's happening, Kev T? And again, I do apologize one last time for being a little bit late to the show here today. Like I said, I had to do a little shopping there. And we've been meaning to make it down to high caliber there before they sold all of their Soviet era SKSs. So I managed to get my hands on one. All original parts, all the numbers match. Gotta love it. All right. What's up, Canadian Bacon? How you doing? How you doing? So things to be aware of for basically sort of the next, roughly, I guess, the next week and a bit. What's up, Alvin Mace? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. We will be, not tomorrow, but on Tuesday. So we will be live on Tuesday on Photosyntech. We will be doing a spot there. I guess what they do is they do kind of like a get to know the grower kind of interview show. So they've asked us to come do an episode on the Potsquatch there and come say hi. So we will be live on, I'm assuming it's live. I'm assuming it's a live show unless they're going to record it and release it after the fact. But to my knowledge, it's a live show that we're doing on the Tuesday. And that will be, this Tuesday at 1:30 my time. So 2:30 Alberta time, 1:30 my time. And we'll be over there on Photosyntech there. What's happening, Visible Farms Pilgor? I am doing well, my friend. We just got back from a little shopping. So I had to go to the gun store and go shop. So that's why we're late today, Pilgor. But no, we're doing really well. Also, obviously, Christmas Eve, we've got the 'Twas the Night Before Dankmas show. That's going to be a great time. Looking forward to that one. Mrs. Potsquatch will be doing a musical performance there on 'Twas the Night Before Dankmas, as well as, we'll be doing the reading of the 'Twas the Night Before Dankmas. And I'm still contemplating something I could do that's amusing for the show. I have not come up with that yet. But I will come up with something, I'm sure. I typically do. All right. What's up, Sarah Coppin? Good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Welcome to the show. We're gonna hop in there in a minute, and show you all the babies. Yes, I'm having a glass of wine, but it is the holidays, so you know. All right. So, we will show you the little babies there. Those are the new guns that I bought. Yeah. All right. What's up, that guy, Channel 2? How you doing, my friend? All right. As you can see, I got to clean some stuff up. I just taped a bit of cardboard, old Budweiser box over the vent there for the AC. We will be reconnecting the AC, obviously, fairly soon. Because once we fire up all those lights, you know what I mean, it's going to be producing way too much heat. Way too much heat. Here, I'm just getting a little bit of water there, everybody, so we can water these babies. And here I thought you were just here for my charming personality, Canadian bacon. What's my humidity right now? I don't actually have the humidity gauge set up currently right now. I would say it's quite low in general, given the furnace is going. But little babies are doing well. Just gonna give them all a little drinky poo. Little drinky poo. Some of them aren't too bad, so we'll just do a little bit. Some of them are definitely on the drier side, that's for sure. But they're all coming to life well. These are roughly 5 days old now. And we have been actually shooting, as we go, the midget clips for doing the whole run in a single short video for everybody at the end. I'm just going to go a smidge there. There we go. There we go. Just giving them a bit of water. Yeah. There we go. Whoop. But the babies are going. And things will be all right. Don't want to keep that water there. Don't want to scorch our leaves or anything, so I'm just going to gently get that off there. There we go. Oh, I need a little bit more water, my friends. A little bit more water. Just a moment here. For those of you who can't remember, we are doing the K-Town Kush by the AK-47, K-Town Kush by Cheese. We've got the K-Town on its own. We've also got some Orange Hindu Kush. We've got a single Rockstar going, as well as we've also got some of those Alien Riffs going as well, my friends. So it'll be a good run, though. I'm looking forward to it. MCR, 420 MCR. I've kind of got a double squatch actually going. I've slanted them shooting on angles. So I've got a double squatch with the X4 boards there slanted onto those. Maybe 2 feet away or so. Just give me a second here, everybody. Just gonna get up. I did have 2 of the babies that technically germinated, just did not have the gas to pull themselves out of the dirt. One of them definitely molded out on us in terms of itself. I think I've got the seed right here. So where it germinated, as you can see here, it germinated. but then it just didn't have the gas to keep going. So that one's kaput. I couldn't even find the seed in that one. But anyway, we got most of them going. So it's all, overall, it's going well there. And looking forward to that. Ooh, I don't want the water on that either. There we go. Don't want them to get hurt now. That'll be okay. There we go. The reason why I'm trying to keep the water beads off of that is so I don't scorch my leaves, obviously. But yeah, no, it's going really well. How's everyone else doing today? Is everyone getting excited for the holidays? I hope everyone's getting excited for the holidays. You know, we're getting excited here. I'm looking forward to two lights for seedlings. That's actually one light, that guy channel 2. Our big lights are built into 2 fixtures. I did have the one fixture on, but it's not actually great for the rig to run a single fixture. It's actually better to have both running. Basically, it's just better for the longevity and the health of the actual system itself. So I've got 2 on it. Yeah, why not? I'm trying to get this really caught up. No, there is no chlorine in the water here, Ganja. Now you're a mama. We've got extremely healthy water here that comes out of a very advanced water filtration system. So here in town. So basically, summer months, springtime months, the ppm on it's about 27. Right now, the ppm's reading a smidgen higher than that. I think we're hitting at about a 50-53 right now. But that typically also is with the winter, all of the extra salt and silts and stuff in terms of the system does get picked up a little bit there throughout the mountain and etc. Plus after all the flooding and stuff too. So the ppm went up slightly. But at 50 to 57, we're still laughing. Like, that's amazing. Most people in the world do not have access to such clean water. But yeah. One second here, everybody. I'm just catching up, making sure I haven't missed anything, everyone. No, so Ganjanani, your mama, I'm not worried about the water being cool. A little bit of shock, a little bit of stress is not a bad thing for babies. I'm quite sadistic when it comes to my plants, so I don't baby my plants. I don't use humidity domes. You know, I don't worry about making sure the water's room temperature. Not at least at this stage. Initially, when I first did it and I started soaking the beans, I used room temperature water for that. But yeah, other than that, it's just straight from the tap and go. Ready to rock and roll, yo. No, Kepti, none of those are feminized seeds. I am against feminized beans. I basically won't even use them usually. The only time I use feminized beans if it's all I have in terms of something. But yeah. That guy channel 2, the girl boss is a fucking mook. He's an idiot. Total dumbass. I don't care what he says or what he thinks. I mean, I'm vastly more qualified to grow cannabis than the man is. So at the end of the day, I'll put however much light I want on my plants. And at the end of the day, we're trying to play catch up. Given that we had to euthanize everything, you know, I'm trying to get these things to crank out and veg as fast as I can. So I'm running them on 20 hours on, 4 hours off. So I am giving them a bit of a rest on a daily basis, but not a huge amount. I could run them at 24 hours, but I'm trying to avoid running 24 hours. It's really not advisable. Where you can do it, I actually think they do a better job with a bit of rest, I guess you could say, in between sort of lights on, lights off, and all of that jazz, right? So simply put, we're trying to play catch up here. You know, they'll probably be in those solo cups for another couple of weeks. Then we'll do a transplant. I'm actually attempting to hopefully get them growing out fast enough where most of them should gender before we go to transplant, because it's just going to save my ass having to do a bunch of other pots. And then, you know, if something goes male, pulling it out. You know, I'd like to know their genders before I transplant. So we're going to choke them out a bit, get them a bit root locked, which I typically do in the solo cups anyway. So then that way our root ball, when we transplant, it's like a little grenade. It's going to be an explosion of roots when we go to that transplant there. Oh, we're not Canadian bacon. It was literally in response to someone who said. I'm not going to be afraid of saying someone's name, though. Dude, that's beautiful, Brian Reynolds. That is gorgeous. 9 ppm is beautiful. That's almost basically reverse osmosis system. A lot of the glacier rivers out here typically are going to be registering anywhere from about a 17 to a 27, typically from the river water that I've checked and stuff like that. Uh, that guy channel 2, I wouldn't even worry about it. The guy contradicts himself every other sentence, so I mean he kind of makes himself look like an idiot regardless. So no, exactly, right? Visible farms, pill grower. So giving them a nice little sleep is an important thing. I mean, I've pushed things at 24 hours a lot in the past. Even though I'm trying to play catch up right now, I'm going to let them have their little sleep there. Only 4 hours, though. Only 4 hours. BMK, feminization has become far too prevalent in terms of genetics. It is a Plan Z, survival of the fittest mechanism built into cannabis by Mother Nature, which is a beautiful thing. However, I am a huge believer in that compounding feminization is what is destroying genetics. Heirloom genetics yielded more. I actually feel that a lot of older strains were actually stronger because it's not just a high THC level that's going to get you high. There's strains out there with lower THC that'll get you higher than a 25 or a 30 THC strain. Okay, that's just the reality of it. There's over 468 psychoactive chemicals and cannabinoids in cannabis, and so feminization is an improper practice. I don't believe in it. The only time one should use feminization, in my humble 2 cents, is if it's like literally the only option. Like if you've got one bean or one cutting of this, like there's no way to get a male to bring something back into a proper stabilized genetic that way. Obviously, feminization sometimes is all you have in terms to have more beans of the same thing. Um, but I think that people need to learn to be patient. I believe that people need to get back to using regular genetics. And that we really need to shift. Sort of this obsession the last 15 to 20 years has been of feminized beans because we're destroying cannabis, we're destroying the future of cannabis and genetic integrity left, right, and center. Yeah, I won't use feminized beans. I mean, obviously, I'll grow a feminized bean. I've grown feminized beans before, but again, if I had the choice, I go regular all day, every day. Feminization isn't really my thing, so. Van Island Beauty, yes. Personally, I feel that Green Planet is the best. Those are the nutrients I like to use. I haven't used the dual fuel. I've had friends who use the dual fuel. It's okay. I would still say if you're going to go Green Planet, get the three-part system. Certain things just work better. The three-part system is tried, tested, and true. I feel it covers the bases a hell of a lot better than the dual fuel, in my humble 2 cents. Well, Kev T also too, regardless of auto flowering, you should allow them to sleep. So I wouldn't run anything on 24 hours. You're going to get a better product and a better end result, letting them have a bit of a rest, in my humble 2 cents. 1 second here, everybody. I'm just trying to play catch up. Yeah, right, Sarah Cobbin. I mean, where you can do it and you can get away from it, it definitely is some undue stress to the plants. And I often find if you're in a rush and you're wanting to veg your plants out as fast as you humanly can, I actually oddly find that, to be honest, I mean, 20 on, 4 off actually seems to do a better job than a straight 24. So that's kind of what I would say. Oh, nice one, Blasted Puffin. Yeah. Where we are here in Hope, British Columbia is like right close to the provincial border there. I agree, Van Allen Beauty. We as indoor growers, we can definitely fuck around with Mother Nature. We can play around with this kind of shit. But at the same time, Mother Nature has her way, right? So it's like, certain things we should leave alone. We can play within the realm, but remember, what we're doing as inside growers is we're emulating Mother Nature, okay? And we can play around with shit and change shit a little bit, but at the same time, we should be careful. I don't know how the water is in Michigan, that guy channel too, but almost every Canadian community, for the most part, has extremely, extremely good water. We actually have a majority of the world's freshwater stores actually already, and yeah, Canadian water is extremely clean by natural nature in and of itself in a lot of areas. Um, and then obviously we have very good infrastructure in most communities anyway. To take care of filtering the water. Cheers back to you, DOA. I hope you're doing well, my friend. What's happening, Roman Reckless? Welcome to the show. All right. One second here. Right there you go, Christopher Thomas. Well, that's the great thing about being a grower. I mean, it's definitely a lesson in patience, shall we say. Hey, no worries, the Bean Bank. How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the show, and happy holidays to you. I hope you're having a good one. Canadian bacon. I already just explained that. Unless I'm a few minutes behind, but I just literally a couple minutes ago explained why I don't like feminized seeds. They are destroying cannabis. Oh, we could do one. I actually had it ready to go in the last live stream we did, but then I never did it. So we can actually go start. I'll just gotta run the tap for a minute, and then we'll get that. Right now, our ppm slightly more elevated just because of all the flooding in the winter and stuff like that. So I think it's sitting at around what was it the other day when I tested? I think it was about a 53 when I tested it the other day. So it's a little bit higher, but yeah. So and again, no grow. That's a hard name to say. Again, you're going to see feminized beans. You're going to see beans in general and genetics in general from most breeders out there. And I mean, it almost feels insulting to call most people who are producing seed breeders because they're not. They're not doing anything properly. But you know, as years go by, you're going to see more and more herming on your genetics, and that comes from improper breeding practices of vastly far too many people feminizing everything. And then that is slowly denaturing genetics. It's watering them down. It's compounding genetic fragmentation, which is leading to just wonky shit. So, hell yeah. No, BMK, that is a completely untrue statement. So a lot of people go, oh yeah, Herm beans will definitely produce a Hermy genetic. That's complete crap. They will have a higher likelihood of herming on you, but that does not mean they are always going to be producing herms. Okay, that is completely untrue. I will say that you really have to be careful when using genetics from a herming plant because, like I said, they will have a vastly higher chance of herming for sure than the original genetic going in. But it's not a guarantee. Okay, that is a common misconception. It is untrue. It's just everything with a grain of salt. So when you do go forward using a herming genetic, okay, you just got to bear that in mind and be careful. I wholeheartedly agree with you, the beanbag. Michigan Water's ppm is 104. Yeah, no. So ours is right now sitting at about a 50-53. And then when I first moved in this house, it was sitting at around 21 or 27 or so. So it's really quite good. What's up, Ozzy Lone Wolf? How you doing, my friend? I wholeheartedly concur with you, Pilgor. Stability is key. Hey, Detroit shrooms, go for it. I mean, I'm actually toying with the same kind of an idea in here and growing one giant plant in the entire grow room there and turn all the grow lights on for just one giant plant. For that one, doing it that way, I'd probably set up a scrog in there. As much as I hate scrogging, it'll work for the one plant. And so, growing it out, filling the room, then flipping it could be quite interesting, actually, at the end of the day. So that's one of the few things I've been toying around with. Another grow I'd love to do for fun on the channel would be because like every Canadian is entitled to 4 plants, a 4-plant maximum. Technically, technically the wording of the law is 4 flowering plants. So you could technically have more plants and veg, but the cops probably don't understand the law properly because, well, let's be fair, half of them are stupid. No offense, police officers at home, but let's be fair. Look at some of your partners; they're asses and they're dumb. But technically, the word of the law is technically that 4 plants and flower, but you can technically have as many as you want in vegetation in Canada. But I kind of want to do a grow where, let's see how much we can produce with just 4 plants indoors, and then sort of, share with everyone what we do. Maybe we could start with the 4, and then we'll go down to the 1 just for fun, right? That is also very true. Visible Farms Pilgor. People think that you just go across one thing with another thing. Ooh, I made a strain. No, you made an initial cross that will take years to properly stabilize out, and proper stabilization also comes from very very large pheno hunts. Back in the hood days when people did things properly, you'd have growers dropping 100, 200, 400,000 beans of one strain, looking for 1 or 2 miracle plants out of all of those, right? So it's a very different reality, proper breeding, than what most people do out there. So at the end of the day, it takes a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, me and Gazzers often affectionately make the joke to each other that, like, by the time we go legal in terms of our farm, and by the time we finally get licensed here in Canada, we will have so many initial crosses that we've started that it'll be like 3 lifetimes worth of work. Like, we won't even be able to stabilize all of it. But that's part of the fun, right? And then it can be carried on in a saga one day. I would, BMK, 100%. I would totally do that. Dude, DJ Drew 24V, yeah, welcome to the show, my friend. It has been a while. The only reason I'm late today is I went gun shopping, so I was at the store buying guns. I apologize for that. What's up, guys? This is 76. I don't know if I said hi to you yet, but hello. Yes, so that guy channel 2, there's a lot of glacial streams, glacial lakes here where I live. It's pretty cool, actually. Bear with me here. I'm just playing catch up. Nice, Sarah Coppin. I'm glad. That makes me happy. Right, Blasted Puffin? I'm actually closer to the other American border with where I am. I'd have to go way up north, I think, to find the Alaskan border. But I think where I'm at, I'm very close to, like, Washington, I think. Like Seattle, Washington. I think it's just over the way. Or maybe it's Bellingham that I'm close to. I'd have to look at a map. But there is an American city very close to here. Yeah, visible farms, I'd say that's the minimum. I'd say that's the minimum for a true pheno hunt. I mean, sadly, obviously, sometimes you don't have the access to that, and so that's why what we're trying to do is we're trying to get out as many initial F1 crosses that we can do, and then on a rainy day, someday we start rolling these out. One of the things that I'm working on right now is if I get a good orange Hindu Kush male going from there, according to Gazzers, the orange Hindu Kush, in his experience over the last number of years working with it, throws pretty consistent males. So I'm not as worried trying to find that magical specific male for the first initial cross. I'm just trying to find one. Find the biggest, baddest one I got, and then I'm pretty much going to germ anything I have in the collection that's cushy in any sense, and then throw them all together and, see what happens. Kev G, if I was doing a giant 1 plant in that room and trying to fill the room, I'd go as big as I bloody well had access to. So I'm thinking probably like a 40, 50, 60, 80 gallon size pot, do a huge, giant singular pot. Take our time, really veg that out. I would go full scrog on the room on that one. I would try to set it up in such a way, though, that I at least have access underneath the scrog, aka where my aging, unflexible body could, go underneath the scrog there. That'd probably be the way I'd look at it. So. Oh no, I feel you, DJ Drew. I feel you. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Christopher Thomas, I've got my PAL and PAL restricted, so I'm basically allowed anything in Canada that's allowed. Obviously, prohibited firearms, such as anything built on an AR-15 platform, is not allowed in Canada, so I'm not allowed that. But pretty much handguns, long guns, anything that's considered a legal firearm under Canadian law, I am legally entitled to possess and own. Good to see you with Whale, Bobby Barnes. I hope you're doing well. What's up, Fred? Furious Frequency. How you doing? Fred, I will get around to making that audio clip for your intro. I just haven't had a chance to yet, but I will get around to doing it. What's up, Ozzy Jeffo? How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the show. What's up, Doug Days? It's funny, your name Doug Days reminds me of one of my favorite local bands called Dog Days. Good time. In America, when you buy a gun, you have to answer an FBI ATF questionnaire. The first question is, do you use marijuana? Luckily, here in Canada, we have a very different system. So you have to have a firearms license in Canada to be able to buy firearms. It's called the PAL and the PAL Restricted. Basically, in order to get your PAL, you have to go take a 2-day course. You can do both courses at once. So you can do your PAL and your PAL Restricted all at the same time. You have to pass a written test, and then you have to pass a practical examination with the firearms, as well as having no prior convictions for serious crime here in Canada. We don't have any archaic laws saying that medical marijuana users can't own guns. That is a load of crap. So no, oh no, you have cancer and you had to use a plant to not die. You can't have guns now. That's just stupid. And per capita in Canada, we have more guns per capita than Americans do. A lot of people think Canada doesn't have any guns. We got lots of guns. Boys, girls, C's and D's. We got tons of them. We're not allowed to own quite everything that Americans are allowed. But then again, we're actually allowed things you guys aren't allowed either, though, right? I'm pretty sure in most states, like a 14.5-inch shotgun is illegal. I can go buy a 14.5-inch Benelli pistol grip right now. Easy to do. What? The giant carbon filter right there? It'll be on when I need it. I'm saving it. I think he means the giant carbon filter sitting there right now. Oh, Grow Prodigy, dude. This carbon filter, when it's running, my plants usually are too stinky even for that, so it overwhelms it. It's quite amusing to me. On our last Hindu Kush run at around 5.5 weeks of flower, if you got close enough to my house, you could still smell my grow, even with that big cocksucker going. So, yeah. No, this is a 10-inch. That's a 10-inch. That's not a 12-inch. So this is a 10-inch carbon filter, everybody. It's not the 12. It's a 10. Great question, Miss K's Garden. There's a lot of different Kush variations out there. What would I suggest for a beginner? I would say, if you can get your hands on a true master Kush, they're usually quite forgiving. Probably one of the easier, it's not a straight Kush, but if you can ever get your hands on a master Kush by Northern Lights, not only are they very hardy, very easy to grow, they're very forgiving. A lot of the Master Kush Northern Lights crosses that I've met, or I've even developed one of them myself, really, really good producers. Makes a beautiful, beautiful flower, nice and dense, beautiful colors to it when it fades out, nice and crystally. I would say, what else would I suggest? I mean, if you can ever get your hand on any form of Burmese Kush, I'm a big fan of the Burmese Kushes. If you're gonna go with a sort of a newer age Kush, probably one of my favorite new age or newer age Kushes would be King's Kush. King's Kush is something we've grown on the channel here a couple of times. We grew that one from seed. We didn't have tons of beans. I've still got a few of those beans left, not many though. But we did have that one pheno that came out of that King's Kush, and it was so purple. It was absolutely gorgeous. So in that regard, that has my vote. I love it. Tuna Kush is another new age one that I really like. I've had some kosher Kushes that I really quite liked. But again, sticking with like a Master Kush or something along those lines. Burmese are fairly forgiving too. So that's a great place to start with Kushes in my humble 2 cents. Hindu Kush is a great one, but it's not a great yielder and it's finicky. Hindu Kush she's a finicky plant to do. I would not suggest a Hindu Kush to start out with. And again, Hindu Kush is really meant for the more seasoned grower and someone who also loves Hindu Kush because one, it's hard to get a good yield on. Hindu Kushes are not known for their yield. They are amazing cannabis. I love the smells. I love the tastes. I love the potency. Definitely, arguably one of the better Kushes out there. But again, it's not known for its yield. I can get quite a good, decent yield on mine, but that's because I've been doing it a long time. So I wouldn't recommend Hindu Kush for a first run. At the end of the day, I think there's better firsts out there for other people to try. Hell yeah, Roman Reckless. How's it looking? You should send me some pictures. I'd love to see that. I agree. Well, Roman Reckless, I just had a bunch of genetics come into me. I believe their name on YouTube is Paddington. Turns out they're from my neck of the woods, actually. They live in Vancouver. They live in North Vancouver. So big shout out to you, Paddington. Thank you very much for the gift. Sent me a bunch of beans the other day. What did they send? Predominantly, I've got a bunch of blue cheese by Girl Scout cookies. So I've got a bunch of those. So that'll be fun to play with. And I actually ran across in my collection there, I've got a blue cheese by Afghani, which I was thinking, hey, that could be an interesting cross. Blue cheese Girl Scout cookies by Blue Cheese Afghani. Hello. That could be sexy. Then we also got sent blue cheese crossed with an unknown. And then what was it else? So we got some beautiful blue things in there. And then I've got some other blueberry genetics that'd be fun to kind of cross them with, I think. But I'm a big fan of blue cheese. Blue cheese is an amazing cannabis strain. It's funky, it's sweet, she's sexy. And then, ooh, this is another thing I'm really excited about. So, Paddington also sent us Purple Kush by Vancouver Island Godbud. Very interesting cross. Obviously, I believe they're F1s, so they could throw either way. For me, growing those out, I'm going to be hoping for an indica leaning side. I want something leaning more towards that Purple Kush with then maybe, sure, some of that subtle top mind buzz that would come from the Vancouver Island Godbud being a Sant Dom. But yeah, good times. Okay. Well, anyone who says that would just, lie. Don't say that. It's like, yes, I'm an illegal marijuana user. Never tell the government that. I don't think that's a smart idea. Christopher Thomas, so which one did you pick out for Christmas? Uh, which one what, Christopher? I think so, yeah. I think so, that guy channel too. It sounds gorgeous, Blasted Puffin. That sounds like a great trip. Sari Cavan, Sarah Coppin. Thoughts on Holy Grail Kush? The few times I've tried it, I liked it. I've actually got some Holy Grail crossed by, what is it? I think it's Holy Grail crossed by, I want to say Samurai, but I could be wrong on that. But it's in there too in my little genetic vault there. I think it's that. I think it's Holy Grail by Samurai. Blackberry Kush is good. The thing for me, the bean bank, is I found with a lot of Blackberry Kushes though that they're really lacking on the cushy front on many of the phenos, which I'm never a fan of. I want it as cushy as fuck. I want it to be hitting me with that cushy factor. So that would be my only comment really to Blackberry Kush is typically I don't find it cushy enough. Oh hell yeah, Roman Reckless. You'll be killing it with two double squatch racks in that 4x8. I think you will do wonderfully. Right? I mean, Visible Farms, the only thing, I actually think I like Death Bubba more than the original Bubba on its own. I mean, they're both great. I just love the extra funk that came out of a proper Death Bubba. And I've seen some really beautiful Death Bubbas that actually have a lot of beautiful purple striations in them. Actually, my buddy Nolan recently just did a beautiful run with some Death Bubba Kush. Just super funky, super sexy, beautiful, nice purple hues through it. I love it. Hey, no worries, Miss Case Garden. And like I said, if we get a good male out there, we're going to be doing a lot of initial cushy crosses to start, hopefully stabilizing out some of the Cush line that our company eventually will be releasing for everybody. So, hell yeah! What's up, Soul Price? What about hazes? I hate hazes. Well, I don't hate them. I don't like them. I'm not a fan of a haze anything. I'm not really a sad guy. I think haze plants are vastly overrated. I find them finicky. They're very hard to stabilize out. Shanti Bubba will say the same thing. And that's one of the things that him and Neville and other people working on stuff. They can never really get them to properly stabilize out. Also, I'm not a fan of how long hazes take. I'm not a fan of sat in general. So, hazes where I respect them, they have their place. I know a lot of people love them. They're not necessarily for me. I think that they have a place in breeding projects, but I mean, typically when I breed anything, I'm always going to be going with that indica dominance on a hybrid anyway. But yeah, that's my humble 2 cents, though. Oh, I did not know that, Roman. I'm still waiting for Brett to fucking call me. So I keep harassing him, and he keeps not getting back to me. So that's a great communication there, Brett. Not impressed, bud. But don't worry, everybody. One day I will take complete control of it, even if I have to dissolve my partnership with them and just do it myself. Blasted Puffin, Potsquatch, what's your thoughts of Hyder, Alaska being American and having a Canadian number? What do you mean having a Canadian number? I'm confused. How do you mean, my friend? And the funny thing is Alaska used to be originally Canada's. We sold it to Russia, then Russia sold it to you. Oh, I love diversity too, Roman Reckless. I agree with you. Oh, Christopher Thomas, I managed to get my hand on an all original 1952 Soviet SKS. I've been wanting to get a proper Soviet SKS for a long time. Um, and then I bought a Canuck 12 gauge semi automatic shotgun as well today. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, BMK, they may eventually legalize, but, I got a feeling they're going to follow suit with how we did it, and it's all going to fall apart. Tons of losses here in that. Yeah, Kev T. I mean, I'm training. I'm getting healthy. I've got both a health and wellness and fitness coach. I've also got a fighting coach, Darius Synagoga of the BFL Fight League. So yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm getting ready. I mean, I probably need 2 or 3 months to get ready for the fight. But I don't think Jake Paul would fight me because he can't fight me. He can't buy me off, right? I'm not going to pretend to fight him like it seems like most people. Like this kid, there's no way this kid keeps knocking people out. So I'd like to see him try on Uncle Potsquatch. So yeah, I'm still 100% on board for the Jake Paul fight. We just got to get that rich little kid's attention there. Here's hoping. I know, right? That's intense, Roman. You're going to be pulling some weight, buddy. You're going to be pulling some weight. That is true. A good point, Soul Price. We will be doing a Christmas cookie, butter cookie episode for everybody. Now that Mrs. Potsquatch is off for the holidays from work, she wants to be participating in that. So we're actually going to be taking her grandmother's butter cookie recipe, which I can guarantee you has never had weed put into it. So we're going to be doing that. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Oh, nice one, Reverend Veritas. I haven't seen the new Spider-Man yet. I went and saw Ghostbusters last night, though. What's up, Jeremiah Sanchez? I'm glad they're working well for you, Kev T. I'm sorry, I'll still stick with our lights any goddamn day of the week. In my humble 2 cents. Staggering Productions. Describe a good Kush taste and smell. It's cushy. I mean, there's not really a way to describe it. There's subtle variations to a lot of different Kushes. Some are spicy, some are sweeter. The Hindu Kush, actually, the last run we did of it came out with this really beautiful sweet note, but as it's curing, that spice is coming out. Um, there is no real way to describe Cushy except Cushy. And a lot of people around the world don't live in a place where they have access to a proper Kush. But once you smell Kush and what Kush is supposed to smell like, a cushy smell, it'll never leave you. But how would you describe Cushy other than saying Cushy? I mean, it's funky, it's deep, it's pungent, it reeks. Even in multiple bags, it'll still permeate out. You smoke a joint of that, you fucking stink. Your body stinks, your clothes stink, your beard stinks if you got a big beard. Resinous. But is there a descriptor that I could really put to the taste of Cushy other than Cushy? Not really. No, once you know, you know. I don't know. That seems weird, Blasted Puffin. I never knew. I never knew that Hyder, Alaska has Canadian numbers. That's very strange. No Conchinata, your mama, not Mr. Canuck. Canuck Guns. It's a gun company out of Turkey, I believe. No, I believe it's actually a Turkish company. Actually, I'm pretty sure. But that was funny, Conchinata, your mama, Mr. Canuck Space Guns. No. Cannabud says my next run is Planet of the Grapes. I love the name. That's just a fun name. Nice. What went into that one, Cannabuds? What do they say the lineage is on that? Hell yeah, Visible Farms. Well, we're gonna actually be doing that video eventually and releasing it, trying to get Jake Paul's attention. Sadly, the problem is let's be fair. Okay, where I'm known in the weed world. I'm known internationally in the weed world now. Have been for a number of years. The weed world's kind of a limited place. And so, I mean, I'm not that huge really in terms of YouTube. I mean, pot YouTube, right? You got to kind of times your sub number by at least a factor of 10 to get an accurate number comparing it to a normal YouTube channel. Just sort of given that we're a smaller community on YouTube in general, like the pot people of YouTube, right? And it doesn't help anything that, YouTube is still persecuting us. But at the same time, I would say, the hard part for us is going to be getting Jake Paul's attention, because we're really not that big. Why would he give a shit? Well, I'll tell you why you should give a shit, Jake. You want a real fight? I'm going to be the first guy to knock you out. You ain't going to knock me out, bud. Much bigger men than you have tried. I do wish you luck, Cannapods. Good luck. Good luck, my friend. What's up, Token Stoner? How's Texas doing for you today? When I was an underground cage fighter years ago, I was known as the 151 Kid. Yeah, I'm allowed an SKS, but I'm not allowed an AR platform. I know, it's funny. The funny thing is basically the AR-15 platform's not even really a great build anyway. Like the AR-15 platform I don't think is that great of a gun. Yeah, I love how modifiable it is and options in terms of mods is cool. But the fact that an AR-15 platform is legal in Canada, it looks scary to a person who doesn't know guns. But yeah, at the end of the day, AR-15s are illegal. The platform is legal in Canada. We're not allowed to have it. No real good reason other than I guess some people who hate guns think it looks scary. Yes, that'd be my guess. The TikTok one. Soul price what? I'm confused now. What did we talk about? I thought you were talking about when I was an underground cage fighter. TikTok was not around back in the day. That is funny, Blasted Puffin. I do find that funny. One second here, everybody. Oh, cool. Okay, so you did the side-by-side with Remo and the Gaia Green. The dry weight is in. Nice. So you got got 899 dried and trimmed for the Remo. And 800 grams even on the Gaia Green. That's 6 plants each. All right, now, did they have the same amount of light and all of that? Ooh. That makes sense, though, Brian Reynolds. That makes sense. Hey, White Widow, classic. And if you got a true White Widow, it's finding a true White Widow or a White Rhino in these days is pretty rare. So if you've got one of those, I say go for it. It's a good time. Right. I mean, fall dog cushiness is next to godliness, and I mean, just cush is the way to be. It's just a true. It's some of the best cannabis in the world. Is anything that would fall into sort of the Kush family, in my humble 2 cents. I think it'd be really funny to watch the fight, though. I think that's where Jake Paul needs to fight us here at Potsquatch Growers, because at the end of the day, I think it would be an extremely entertaining fight. And to my understanding, he and I are roughly the same size. I believe he fights at a cruiserweight, so I prefer to fight above a cruiserweight. I don't like fighting at 200 or less pounds. I typically like to fight 220 to 240 back in the day when I fought that. But I can fight cruiserweight. I can fight a cruiserweight. I'll go right down to 199. 199.9 pounds. Hmm. Never tried Gushers myself. Well, I've tried the candy, obviously, but not the strain. Yeah, right? Blasted puffin. I'll put it to you this way. Jake Paul is a arrogant little rich white boy. Very entitled rich little white boy. His brother is also a fairly arrogant guy. Now, mind you, Logan Paul seems to be a little bit nicer than Jake Paul is. Jake Paul definitely strikes me as more of the arrogant of the two brothers. But yeah, we'll see. What's up, D's nuts? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Ah, thank you, Cannabite. So it's Grape Diamonds crossed with Chem D crossed with I-95. All right, nice one. Sounds sexy, Cannabuds. I don't know, Kev T. I still think a lot of his fights are fixed. I don't believe this kid. I don't believe it. But who knows? Kid's making a lot of money doing it. I'd only have to do that one fight, everybody. If we could fight Jake Paul, the amount of money I'd make off that one fight, we could buy the farm. We could also pay for the television show, and I could produce it all myself. That's why I want to fight this kid and do some exhibition fights. I'm willing to fight anybody, you know. Obviously, they have to be somewhere near my weight class. Obviously, I can't go fight flyweight or something like that. That just doesn't work. But that's kind of where we're entertaining that now, and I'm getting back in shape to do all of this, is to be able to raise the money. I love how demanding you are, Ganchana, your mama. I love it. Oh, I saw the fight. I mean, I saw him supposedly knock him out with his right hand. I don't know. Now, are they true white widows and white rhinos though? And if you do, how many do you have? You want to trade something for something there, visible furniture? Would like to add white widow and white rhino. I've got a cross that I could trade you. Maybe you'd be interested in. It's actually the Canadian addition to the white family, which is Canadian white Russian, crossed by Kaitungata, which is an outdoor New Zealand genetic that does really, really well over in New Zealand there. That cross was done by Gazzers. I think that one's just an F1 cross, so there's still plenty of different phenos to play with in there and to stabilize out. But hey, I bet you don't have that one. Maybe we could trade there, Pilgor. We could do a little trade. Yeah, right, BMK. Well, he's got to grow. We're gonna grow a pair. What's up, Greg? How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the show. No, Ganchanani, your mama. When I fought Underground Cage, it was a very illegal event. It wasn't like a legal fight. These are illegal fights that happened. I was doing it back in basically the age of 16 to 22, so about 11 or 12 years ago. I'm a little out of date, but I'm not that old, and I'm getting back in shape. Just ask Greg. I'm slowly getting into shape now. D's nuts. I mean, I'm not really into new genetics, and I don't really trust anyone in the game. That's why, we're geared up to start our own company and actually release true stuff. But I mean, I'm always willing to try out some stuff too. But to be honest with you, I don't trust most people in the genetics game. That's why I wouldn't give them a single red cent. Not that the pennies are even things anymore in Canada, but I like that name though. D's nuts, Canorado. That's a fun name. I like that. Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome, Roman Reckless. I'm glad that you actually got back to us because I was curious about that experiment you were doing with those. Yeah, so and I believe now the cruiser weight is 190 or it might even be 180. No, it's at least 190 to 200 pounds. I know I can weigh up to 200 pounds in the cruiser weight. Do I MMA? I mean, yeah, I guess what I did do back in the day would be considered mixed martial arts. I'm a stand-up guy, but I can go to ground. I can grapple. I can wrestle. I can do submissions. But my favorite thing is going toe to toe on a stand-up. I have a very dangerous punching power. No, BMK. I will not shave the beard for the fight. I would just braid it up. I'll just put a braid in it. I agree, D's nuts. That's why Jake Paul won't fight me because he can't buy me out. I wouldn't allow him to rig the fight. He'd have to fight someone for real for once. We'll see what happens. How's it looking though? Hey, visible farmers, we got lots of interesting things right now that you might want to play with. And also the Kaitangata is a great outdoor strain, so it could do really well for you down on the farm down there. I'd love to trade if you're open to it. Let me know. Because you know me, Pilgor. I'm always trying to add stuff I don't have to my little collection there. Right, Paper Scratcher? I mean, it's a classic. I mean, and White Widow is one of the first strains I smoked over the first time I went to the Netherlands. And at the end of the day, probably the best White Widow I've ever smoked, though, was actually grown here in Canada. I mean, it was such a different reality than buying it from a coffee shop in or the Amsterdam way. You know what I mean? The only typical time I'll shave my beard is if I get offered, like, if I get offered a large role in a film where they're throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars at me, yeah, I'll shave. Beard grows back. So for an acting role, I would shave. I would shave for an acting role, but that's it. Right, Roman? It's funny. God, Janata, I love you. Oh, really? That doesn't sound like the most pleasing scent, but it does smell like one of those weird, funky scents of cannabis that might actually grow on you. Genetics? I love it. Generic genetics. Oh, good times. Hey, man, I'll play with a few of them blasted puffin. There you go, Kev T. We'll have to do that for fun sometime. How would I be able to tell an original White Widow? Well, first, obviously, one is where am I sourcing it from? Who did it? Where did it come from? I would inquire through the grower of where did they get it from. And then I would be looking for structure, smell, taste, and aesthetic. Hey, a true White Widow is great. I mean, I love the White Widow, my friend. Hey, whatever floats your boat, BMK, right? I mean, hey, if he's into that sumo stuff, I say go for it. Hey, what's up, J and K Triple G? Much love and cheers back to you, my friend. Yeah, right. Oh, I do, visible. I do. What's the best strain for an outdoor in Ontario? Well, I mean, one, Ontario's a definitely more forgiving climate than BC. It does get extremely hot in parts of Ontario in the summer. I would go with something which has a shorter run. Again, so keeping it kind of more of an indica thing or indica or cushy relation. Um, What would I suggest for Ontario? What part of Ontario? It's a big fucking province. I'm from there, so you can say a part of it, and I can tell you. Hey, thank you very much, D's Nuts. I appreciate it. You should see how long it goes actually when I straighten it out. It's quite curly, so, but if I hit it with my straightener, it comes down to about here. I've got hairs that go down on my belly button in it. There's a few stupid long hairs in it there. Ah, nice one, Patrick Randall. Nice one. How's the world of towing going for you today? From the DR. What's the DR mean, Jake? Look. Yeah, well, you know what? At the end of the day, can of buds. Once the hair here started migrating down onto the rest of me, I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna shave my head and grow the beard out." I also did it in part in solidarity with my old dad as well. So, Van Island Beauty one, haven't fed them at all. I probably won't feed for another couple of weeks. Any basic soil should have more than enough nutrition in it for at least the first 3 or 4 weeks of life. And I don't pH, so I'm just using tap water. And I don't feed via ppm either. I know it's irritating everyone. You know, all the new age growers are like, oh, pH everything and this or that, and this ppm and that ppm on a feed. The only time I use ppm for a feed is if I'm running a giant grow where I'm actually mixing up a huge tank, and really it's the only easy way to do it. So yeah, I don't typically do that. So yeah, but I'm not feeding anything. Just water right now. Just water. Just water. I know that doesn't really help Van Island Beauty, and I'm sorry. But it's the truth, though. No, I feel you, and that's the thing, D's Nuts. Like I've smelled some very funky, weird cannabises over the years, and a lot of them will kind of smell horrible, but then good. And then the more you smell them, it kind of grows on you, and it's kind of like one of those weird acquired scents, you know, or scents, yeah. Bear with me, I'm reading. Makes sense. Good, Patrick Randall. Keep yourself warm. I have grown White Widow a couple of times. I've smoked a lot more of it. Typically, a White Widow is a hybrid. Okay, it can throw. I've seen it throw a couple of ways. It can throw with more of a saddy world to it. But typically, most White Widows, that at least the ones that I've worked with, have come out still with a decent bush to them. Nice tight nodal structure. Sometimes you get the odd one that is a little ganglier out with longer nodal levels to it, that has a saddier feel to it. But, you know, the White Widow in and of itself, and the whole white family actually comes out of the original skunk varieties. That they owe a big part of their lineage from there, which in and of itself, original skunk wasn't a straight sat. It was also a hybrid, okay? And if I'm remembering correctly, there's actually some Afghan in there, in the original skunk that went in. But typically, though, you're going to see kind of a weird mix between kind of an indica sat leaf. They can throw heavily one way or the other, but typically it'll still bush out on you, nice and tight nodal spacing, and kind of like a half and half world. Usually early on in its life has a very, very sweet scent. It's very, very, very sweet. And that funk to it kind of comes out a little bit later in life. But to be fair, that's typical of most cannabis that has a funk, right? They'll typically often will have more of a sweeter kind of a nose to them at first, and then that funk kind of comes out as they age. What's up, the School of Crop? What's happening, baby? Oh, White Widow's great. Like it's a great strain. Oh, dude, Texada Island Time Warp. Uh, is that the right strain, or am I blending two fucking strains? I think it's Time Warp is from Texada Island originally. I've had it. It's a very rare strain to find. I mean, I've seen it a couple of times in person, but I was only able to get my hands on clones on it, and then sadly I couldn't get it ever again. That happens, blasted puffin. Well, Van Island Beauty, Texada Time Warp comes from Texada Island. It's not Vancouver Island. It comes from Texada Island. But it's part of the same general area, so. Well, I remember, Visible Farms, I've always loved White Rhino. White Rhino is an interesting thing. It's not as strong as White Widow, in my personal experience. But I love the look of it. It's white rhino is such a great daytime smoke. It's got a bit of that left hook, so you're hitting all those notes, but it's still got some ethereal stuff. But it's not going to freak you out like a super saddy thing. I always loved the smell and the taste of white rhino, and it was a great daytime smoke. It was great for school. I smoked a lot of it in high school, so. Right, Patrick? Well, the other day we got like 3 or 4 feet of snow here on the ground in Hope. It was pretty crazy. Vandal and Beauty. Yeah, like I said, I couldn't speak to the ppm because again, there isn't added. They don't add in fertilizers into the Pro Mix HP that I buy. But in my experience, typically it's good for at least 3 or 4 weeks of edge, at least, and then that's kind of when I start to feed stuff. So. Am I snowed in? No, I'm not snowed in, Ganchanani or Mama. All of our vehicles that are on the road right now and insured are all-wheel drive vehicles. So, the wife's 2019 Dodge Ram 1500 Hemi, four-wheel drive on that, and I got all-wheel drive on my Volvo as well. I had a lot of fun the other day. I was out driving in the snow. Everybody smoked a joint, hopped in the car, and just went ripping out in the snow. Well, see, that's the funny thing is, I don't think Ontario's that wet or damp compared to BC. BC's the one you got to watch out for. So in my mind, I mean, yeah, it gets humid in Ontario, but I mean, I don't know. I don't register it as that dangerous compared to BC. BC is horrible for PM and bud rot. Like every year, almost everyone gets hit by it. So if we want something that's mold resistant, I'd go Northern Lights. Northern Lights in Ontario is going to be a mold resistant plant. It's a hardy plant. It's hard to find a straight Northern Light, so if you can find it by something, like I was saying earlier in the show, Northern Lights by Master Kush is a great, stable, high-producing, not really that finicky or fussy of a plant. So yeah, I would recommend that. That'd be a good one for sure. I like cigars from the Dominican Republic, Jake Luck. BMK, I mean, I do things different every time. So typically, a general rule of thumb is for like an indica dom or an indica plant. It's got to be at least 12 to 14 inches high. You're going to want at least 7 nodal levels to it. And typically, I like to have it bushing out a bit too. So I like to have it at least as wide as it is tall. Um, Depending on how you're training it, like if you're topping it or if you're fimming it or if you're just tying it out. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to approach its training. But a generalized rule of thumb, I want it to be at least 12 to 14 inches tall. I'd like to have it be almost as wide as it is tall, and usually a little bit bigger than that. We are going to be flipping these ones earlier than I usually will, but then we're going to see how much we can get done in a few weeks. Because once transplant happens into the finishing pots, realistically, my guess of what I'm probably going to do this time is probably run it 1 or 2 weeks and then just flip right away. Get that going. Because also, too, I'd like to have slightly smaller plants this time. For those of you who remember, the last run, the plants just got way too fucking big. And that was part of, me putting off flipping because I was trying to fight those stripes and try to get those under control. And that was a pain in the ass. Don't want to, that's why we euthanized everything. I just don't want to revisit. I was like, fuck it, just nuke everything. But I'd like to have slightly smaller plants this time. That'd be great. I'd be okay with that. What's up, Cadillac Jack? You can do it, Red Claws. I believe in you. Gotta love that bush, the school of crop. Gotta love the bush. Oh, yeah. These nuts, terpene profiles of the cannabis world, the cannabis kingdom is just astonishing. I love how diverse a plant family it really is. Oh, there you go, Blasted Puffin. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm a strictly an indoor guy too, my friend Kev T. The only thing I put outside would be solar panels or my vegetables. I like growing vegetables outside. Oh, he is. And guess, Greg, I am having a glass of wine, but I'm, being my showman self, so. And it's Christmas, Greg. I'm basically, until the new year, I'm having some drinks. But don't worry, I'm being a good boy, Greg. Everybody, Greg's my health and wellness and fitness coach, by the way. So that's what's going on there. Uh, everybody, Greg's got to be one of the most jacked 60-year-old or almost 60-year-olds you've ever seen. It's insane. It was pretty funny because the other day I'm like, Greg, why are you always wearing a toque? Why are you wearing a vest? Why are you wearing a hoodie? You get cold easily, man? He goes, dude, there's like not an ounce of body fat on my body. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that's a valid point. Yeah, D's nuts. White rhino definitely is a subtler smell for sure when compared to both Canadian white Russian or white widow. 100% true. What's up, happy grower? My mom grew up in Hamilton, is from Hamilton. I grew up in London, Ontario. I'm sure you're probably talking to someone else. I'm not sure where they're from, but oh yeah, but yeah. Yeah, Northern Lights in general is just a great, reliable strain if you can get a true Northern Lights, everybody. It's not finicky, it's a good yielder. She's hardy, she's tough, and she's mold resistant. One second, everybody. I'm trying to read and catch up. Hell yeah, Blasted Puffin. Well, this December 21st, you can watch us at 1:30 on the Photosyntech show. Yeah, Jake Luck, we had the big fires. Then we had flooding and landslides from an excessive amount of rain falling in 24 hours. We had over 300 milliliters of rain here in Hope in a 24-hour period. The fires were a direct cause to the landslides because a lot of the vegetation got burnt up. But and now we got snow. We had like 4 fucking feet of snow the other day. It's fucking stupid. Hey, what's up, Boston Buzz? Just doing well, buddy. We were a little late today on the show because I was gun shopping. Yeah, most of BC. I Spy Retro is horrible as well for the same things. It's pretty astonishing. I don't know. I personally feel London, Ontario is kind of the asshole of Canada. I was raised there, so I can hate it. Uh, but yeah, no, I lived in London as a kid. Moved out to BC the summer I turned 12, and fell in love with weed right away. And then I lived briefly back in Ontario and London as an adult for maybe 6 or 7 months. How can you gauge your watering outdoors? Great question. One, we're going to monitor the outdoor rain, the general moisture level. Okay. Two, we're going to monitor our plant and keeping an eye on it. Three, the age-old checking the soil to a point, it still works. So, and what you can kind of do is when you first plant your outdoor plant, I'd go back maybe 10 feet and dig a hole. Digging this hole is going to allow you to stay away from your main root ball in the plant, but then you can actually go in and then also you can use that to check the moisture as well. The great thing about outdoors as well too, though, is if you've got it properly set up in a great area, I mean, it's a lot harder to waterlog your plant than it is on an indoor plant because there's such a limited area in the pot inside, right? But outdoors, I mean, there's runoff. As long as you're not putting it in pots outdoors, I'm assuming we're talking about planting it in the earth, obviously. But yeah. Yeah, not Luna. It was pretty insane. It started snowing the other night and it kind of snowed the whole next day, all night. So you could do that too if you've got it in a pot, gotcha now your mama. Hell yeah, there you go, happy grower. Northbrook, Ontario. BC's the shit. I'm a BC person. I've been out here ever since I was a kid. I'll probably eventually open up farms and stores in Ontario, but I will always live in BC. BC's my province. BC's my home. I'm a BC motherfucker. I'm a BC grower, man. BC bud, baby. Plastic puffin. Potsquatch, is your light require color if it's too powerful or close? Blasted Puffin, can you rephrase the question? I'm not quite following. I'm sorry. I mean, Blasted Puffin, I mean, if you're running a proper high intensity discharge lighting system and when you're hitting hardcore levels of light, most certainly CO2 is great. CO2 is also very, very effective when combined with an LED grow. I find that cannabis under LED actually grows a little bit faster, develops a little bit faster, because of the nature of the photons coming out of the LED aren't force feeding the plant. The plant, it's actually a vastly more photon delivery that's vastly more agreeable to the plant than a traditional high intensity discharge lighting system. So when you actually use a CO2 system with LED, you're actually going to have vastly more effective results than you would even with an HPS. Just given that it is able to achieve more work in a 24-hour period, basically, than it would under an HPS, if that makes sense. So you don't require it, but you're not hurting anything by using it either, Blasted Puffin, if that helps. Yeah. No, Roman's right. You don't need it, but you're not going to do anything bad or be upset about having it either. Well, that's the thing you gotta love, right, Sarah? Like, I mean, I'm a big fan of the fact of costs of shit coming down. One second here, everybody. There's the new little guns here. Ooh, pretty. Good times. Very pretty. Yeah. Love this, though. Check it out. 1952. Focus. There we go. All original parts. All the numbers match. Beautiful. Yes, that's one thing. The thing to remember when we're using CO2 injection systems, we're not necessarily talking with like a yeast breather system because that's not going to excrete enough CO2 to really cause any serious issues. But when we're using a CO2 tank and we're actually injecting CO2 into our environment, remember, CO2 is heavier than air. It will, so all of our sprayers or nozzles need to be above the canopy for it to actually work, or then we're just pissing away money for no point. But remember that CO2 in and of itself as well is going to, in fact, collect on the floor, basically. So simply put, be careful. Pets, small children, etc. Nice. The funny thing is that Canuck gun, Jesse Berry, is almost all entirely interchangeable with the Benelli. The only difference is the price point, and they're almost identical because Benelli never renewed their patents, so then a bunch of other gun companies started making them. And so a Canuck is basically the same gun, works just as good, if not even better than a lot of the Benellis, and it's just going to cost you less. So I picked that one up for about $900. And there's a beautiful Benelli 14.5-inch pistol grip shotgun that I'm looking at right now. I really want it. It's only $775 too, and it's 3.5 inch. Fucking gorgeous. I really want it too. Hell yeah. Well, BMK, all I bought was double O's as well. Again, we got to break in the barrel in the new shotgun. So, typically everyone for shotgun breaking in, the first 300 or 400 rounds need to be heavy loads. You need to shoot big old heavy loads through it. Sounds so dirty. But yeah. Paper Scratcher says, why Scratcher? Happy Growers is fun to have. You know, there were semi-automatic shotguns at the store, and you know I could have a clip of 10, so one in the tube or one in the chamber, and then then the thing. It's a good time. See, the funny thing is, Paper Scratcher, Canadians have more guns than Americans per capita. We like guns just as much as you guys. If anything, we like them more. Which is a funny thing that a lot of Americans I don't think realize. Just because we have stricter rules doesn't mean we don't love guns here in Canada. I wholeheartedly concur, Sarah. Yeah, no, it's so the wife can shoot it. I can pull it out, and I can shoot it. It's great. It's fun for the whole family. It's good for his and her. That was the fun part of that one. There was this beautiful little 590 Mossberg kind of pump action. It was a pretty little gun too. Yeah, Paper Scratcher, AR-15 platforms are illegal in Canada, so I'm not allowed anything that's an AR-15, which is funny because, like, the AR-15 in and of itself is actually kind of a shitty platform. It's not great, and there's nothing dangerous about it. Yet we've made it illegal here in Canada. But there is a shotgun that was at the store. It's a double barrel, double chamber shotgun. And this thing is mean, dude. It's about $1,300, and it looks like something out of a science fiction video game. Like it's one of the meanest looking guns I've ever seen, and I want it. I'm also gonna. There's another shotgun there that's the John Wick shotgun, where he's like on top in John Wick 1, where he's shooting into the car, and it's got so it's 2 chambers on it, so you can like load buckshot in one, or birdshot or whatever you want to put in it, and then you can load slugs into the other, and there's a switch on it, so you can switch back between the two. That's what I call business time. I don't know. I mean, we're not allowed AK-47s. We're not allowed fully automatic weapons. I would assume the AK is probably banned too. They've banned stuff in Canada. Technically, we're not allowed to own body armor in Canada, BMK. It doesn't mean we don't. We're just not technically allowed to have it. But yes, we're not technically allowed that. But then we are allowed things that you guys aren't, though, right? Like, I'm pretty sure I can't, like, this Benelli 14.5-inch shotgun is too short for America. I wouldn't be allowed it in America, but I'm allowed it here, which is interesting. And for example, brass knuckles in the States are illegal. Like, down in Texas, brass knuckles are illegal. Here, brass knuckles are illegal, but if I make it out of carbon fiber, it's not illegal. But it is illegal in Texas. Yeah, right, Jesse Berry? It's an expensive habit. I love anything in the size, Mossberg. Beautiful, Roman. That sounds nice. I haven't decided what my first handgun I will buy. Do have limits on our magazines. This is true. This is true, not Luna. Sad, but true. But at the end of the world, it's not going to matter. Even though Remingtons are the #1 or shotguns sold in the world, I don't think Remingtons are that great. Not a big fan. No, Paper Scratcher, it's because I'm on my fucking data plan. In this washroom, my Wi-Fi doesn't reach to here, so... Well, it's just fun, right? And then, hunting's a big thing here in Canada too, everybody. And like that's one of the things I want to get into more is learning how to properly hunt and stuff. Because I mean, hell, end of the world happens, I gotta take care of stuff somehow. Yeah. Do 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 do. Yeah, but she's pretty. This is the shotty here. And a fun fact. So, if you're looking at an SKS and you're trying to distinguish whether it's a Soviet or if it's a Chinese-made SKS, one, Soviet SKSs have a blade here, rather than the Chinese version, which is like a kind of like a weird triangle thing for the bayonet. And then on the bottom here, Soviet eras are flat, where there's this weird little blip part coming out on the Chinese made, as well as Soviet era are shiny here, where it's more of a matte color on a Chinese made. I like eating duck. Ducks are good, very tasty. I enjoy duck meat. I keep hearing these, rumors of wild boar out here, but every gun guy I talk to hasn't actually been able to find any of them. Well, at the end of the day, paper scratcher, who knows? I'm still here. But at the end of the day, these are all legal firearms. I'm fully licensed to own them. I'm not, I'm just showing them. So, YouTube can go rotate. I'm Canadian. We hunt. We go to target range. We have fun. Well, and that's the thing, Paper Scratcher. My guess is why they maybe got mad at you is because you show weed. I'm assuming you show weed, right? And then you show guns, and then they're like, ooh, guns and weed, that's a bad mix. I mean, just that's probably their justification on it. But there are, totally, dedicated channels to guns and stuff too, right? So. I mean, that's definitely an option. I mean, from what I've heard, there's a shitload of them over in Saskatchewan, but that's a bit far for me to go there to hunt. Hey, much love, Blasted Puffin. Keep it real, my friend. Thank you for joining us in the show. Say hello to the family for me. You don't have to, by the way. The wine's upstairs, Paper Scratcher, so I'll just wait till later. That'd be my guess, Jesse. That'd be my guess on it, right? So, YouTube's always silly. Yes, Paper Scratcher. There is DoorDash in Canada. We got DoorDash. We've got Just Eats, I think. We've got the Uber Eats. We've got DoorDash. There's a bunch of them. Right, Jesse Berry? Oh, good old YouTube. Fucking stupid YouTube. YouTube better get with the times. Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah, Blasted Puffin. Well, let's recap everything that people should be aware of too. So coming up on December 21st, so that will be not tomorrow, but the next day, we will be on Photosyntech doing a show with them. They've asked us to come on and do the Get to Know the Grower show there. So they're going to be doing, I guess, an episode on yours truly, the Uncle Potsquatch here, So that'll be good. So check that out. That's going to be going live. I think it's a live show. I'm assuming it's a live show. And that's going to be going live there on the Tuesday at about 1:30 p.m. my time there here in British Columbia. So that'll be pretty good. Remember, obviously, Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, we will be doing "Twas the Night Before Dankmas," so tune in for that. There's going to be musical performances by Mrs. Potsquatch. There will be the reading of "Twas the Night Before Dankmas," and I'm contemplating doing a little something in the show as well. Other than that, but I can't remember. No, it is not up yet, Van Island Beauty. Trust me, you'll all know it's been costing me a shitload of money to have a store that hasn't worked for almost 2 years, and it's cost me thousands of dollars to build this new website. But so the second it's all up, I'll let you know. So I'm hoping the next 3 or 4 weeks is roughly what it'll take. It's taken a little bit longer for us to get the initial product runs done. That has to do with our business partners, not us. So, but we are basically there. We're just waiting for all the labels to be printed up now, and then we will have the initial product runs, some samples sent up to me so I can do all the photo shoots for both the website and for the sales portfolio. And then we will be going live. So I'm basically all the swag, all the CBD, everything, the beard oil, all of that will be available for purchase to everybody. I'm hoping in 3 or 4 weeks. Fingers crossed. Hell yeah. Well, here, I can show you the babies right now, Jesse Berry. That's right, paper scratcher. Night, night, BMK. I hope you have a wonderful day. Yeah, no, I've been thinking about that, Roman Reckless. When I was on a sort of a blended show to raise money. That was, Mr. Grow was on there. Cannabis Lifestyle Television was on there, and they invited me in there. When I came onto the show, before I came on the show with a few other YouTubers, hell, Vader was on there. I've even got some Alien Rift from Ocean Grown going on right there. So Vader was actually on the show before I was, and they were doing all of that on Twitch there. So I'm thinking about it. You got to remember, I'm not as smart at the computer things as most people. What's up, local grow guy? How you doing? Well, here's some of the babies here. We got some little Alien Rift babies there. This is the one Rockstar Kush we got going there. This is the K-Town by AK-47. Yeah, these are the babies though. They're going well. Coming along. Roughly 5 days old today. Or technically, I guess it'll be roughly 5 days at 1 a.m. tonight, I think. Technically speaking. Yeah, no, it was trippy actually, Roman Reckless, to see him on that show right before I came on. That was kind of cool. Right, it's fun. We'll see how they all turn out. So we've got the K-Town Kush, we've got K-Town by Cheese, K-Town by AK-47, Kaitangata by Canadian White Russian. We've got a single Rockstar Kush, and then we've got some orange Hindu Kush as well going. Given the way this one is jumping up hugely, I'm kind of going, oh, you might be male, but you might not at the same time. It's hard to say. Because where on the last run of the orange Hindu Kushes before we euthanized them, I was sure a couple of them were male, and they went female on me. And I was shocked. So like, hey, even I could be wrong at times, right? So it's part of the fun. Oh yeah, Van Island Beauty. Gazzers has been growing weed and breeding weed for a very, very long time. And Gazzers makes good genetics. I mean, obviously these are only F1 crosses, most of them. So they're just the starting point for us to actually stabilize out and pheno hunt and make some fun, sexy things for everybody to check out. So, it is what it is, right? But anyway, everybody, it's been a wonderful show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with me being late. It's one of those things. It happens. But we will be, again, like I said, on Tuesday, live at 1:30 p.m. BC time on Photosyntech doing the Get to Know the Grower show there. And then on the 24th, obviously, we will be doing the 'Twas the Night Before Dankmas. So tune in for that, everybody. It's been great. I'm looking forward to getting our plants back up in action and having shit vegging out, flowering out, and basically trying to, going forward, keeping things running perpetually. So we won't have any, hopefully huge gaps in between runs for anybody and all of that jazz, right? So, hell yeah. Anyway, everybody, remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. The true grower is most certainly not afraid to take risks. Hands-on practical application is how we truly learn. Reading is the first step. Then go, try, get to know. Don't just take someone's word for it, because there's a lot of ignoramuses in our industry. That's part of why I'm here, to counteract it. Anyway, everybody, keep it real, keep it sexy. Word to your mother. I will see you all on Tuesday in the show if you get a chance to come check that out. All right, peace and love, everybody. Bye.